reviewing the MR2 Turbo. This is in 1991. Some specs about this car. This car has an upgraded turbo and a short ram intake by K&N, and it has lowering springs, which they're unnamed, but like they're still lowering springs, which they're good. So obviously you have the short ram intake, and then this is leading to the turbo in there. Now, I mentioned earlier that this turbo is actually, it's upgraded, which that means is like it's a 6-blade CT26 turbo. Now Supras also use the same turbo, but the stock ones are 5 blades, not 6 blades. And then leading from there, this is actually the blowout valve. It is the stock blowout valve, but it's still pretty noticeable. Like you can still hear it when you're driving, and it's pretty good as far as like power difference. And as far as from the factory, it comes like with sway bars, which is actually pretty cool. I didn't think Toyota would like make that as like a stock thing out of the factory. So adding to the engine, basically this is like a add-on. You can take it on or off, but this is like, it's called a snorkel. And usually the older generation of either the Ford GT40 or the MR2s, they came with a snorkel. And what that basically does is when you're driving fast, it's really nice because air will hit in here and will go all the way down and basically hit the engine bay. More specifically, it'll hit the short ram intake, and that'll lead straight to the turbo. So that's perfect because you want it to, you know, be as cool as possible. The only thing that it's possible my friend might do in the future, he might add a upgraded intercooler to it just so the engine will run cooler. But as far as, and possibly an upgraded blowout valve, but that's all in the future. As far as the engine goes, just being stock, it's actually pretty good. It's running about 260 horsepower now, just because of the turbo. The turbo added 60 horsepower because the base is already 200 horsepower and 200 pounds-foot of torque. So actually, just quickly comparing to the other MR2s, the one that is naturally aspirated is a huge power drop from this car. Now, I'm not talking about the upgraded turbo, but from the 200 horsepower, the MR2 naturally aspirated is 130 horsepower. And that thing's a 2.2 inline-4, whereas this one is a 2.0 inline-4. So either one, like, you could upgrade the naturally aspirated one. You could always put a turbo in that, but I mean, you might as well get the car that already has a turbo and just upgrade that turbo to like a 6-blade or so. So that's the huge power difference between the car. Now, just quickly, just talking about like the interior of this car. I know a lot of things are basic, but I mean, they still have a lot of cubbies for an older car. Let me show you what I mean. So now, of course, you know, like on the side, there's always the side pockets. But this thing extends all the way to the end of the door, whereas some cars nowadays, they might like stop right here and then have it and like start and stop like from here to here. Out here, well, this is aftermarket stereo, a stereo dashboard, but like, I mean, it's nice that you can put your phone in here. You have the center console, which basically leads to the shifter, but you have 2 spaces in here. You got this, and then you have the space that's in here. So and then of course you have spaces in the back to where you could put the roof of the T-tops, the little carpet roofing in there. Like, it's always perfect that you can add like a subwoofer system if you wanted in the back of the seats. So it would like basically stand right there, and then you have that space, that extra space to put like a subwoofer. But it's, like I said, guys, as far as cabin space and like cubby space goes, it is really nice. And given that this car is a mid-engine, I really like how, since the engine is in the back and then like you have this mirror that's like curving out like that, like you don't really see too many cars nowadays that do that. And I don't know, I just think that's a really cool thing to have, and like a really cool design as far as like the cabin and where the engine is located. So real quick, just to show you how this works, you basically lift that to the left and pull this out, and then you pull out, and that's how the T-top like works. So I think that's really cool. Like, you don't even need to use the lock to lock it, or the key to lock it, but that's like a really cool feature with a T-top. I just never knew because I never had one, but I mean, I think that's pretty cool. So actually, another cubby that we just found, there's one inside here to where you could put tools, but they just made it look hidden because of all the like the upholstery and like carpet. But that's like, this is what I mean. Like, you could just put tools and like different cubbies and like different spaces and anything, and then like you wouldn't know where it is, where people couldn't like steal it or anything. So like, I feel that's pretty cool. So another really feature that I love about the old cars is this. That, I think that's really cool. I mean, that's like an old style of headlights back in the 90s and 80s. Like, that's something that's really cool. And then they had like a little nice feature with the fog lights. But again, like I said, this is why I love older cars, is because it's easy to mod, and I feel like the styling and the looks of the car and not really features wise, because features wasn't really advanced back in the days, but as far as like style goes, both on the inside and outside of the car, I really think it was cool, because stuff like that. And then the only issue with that is that they had mechanical issues with it, like basically staying down or staying up. Some people like had it where it can only stay up, it can never go down, and that was just a mechanical failure. But that's just something that I really like about these style of headlights. Last piece of like features of the car that I really like. This car has two trunks, not even one. One is in a bag that we all know, like pretty much every car has, and it's pretty spacious for the stuff that's in the car. Now that's the back. This is the secondary trunk. Now it's not really a trunk to where you put like groceries and stuff in, but like it's an extra space that in the mid-engine that you couldn't put, so where the spare tire is, the battery is, and it's actually really cool because they have like sway bars. The front also has sway bars, not even in the back. So this is what I'm saying. Like, this car has like a lot of like secret hidden spots that people wouldn't think would be there, because a lot of people who don't know cars would think this is where the engine is, where actually the engine's in the back, and then this is just where the spare tire is. So I think that's pretty cool with all the hidden spots that this car has. Now actually, I lied. There's actually a last thing about this car that's really cool. The amount of vents that are in this car is unreal. So you have the ventilated hood, which is nice. You got the snorkel, cold air hitting through it. You got this vent, which basically, I don't know really what the heck it does. It's just, I think it's cold. It's hot air coming out of it, or like cold air going in it. But still, it's a cool vent. And then you have, that thing is basically where the fans are. Now on the other side is where the intercooler is. Like I said, like the amount of vents that are in this car is actually really cool. Like, this is what I mean by like different hidden spots in this car, and like different like secret like features that you wouldn't know about this car, but it actually has a lot for being a 1991. So now, of course, I'm just gonna tell you guys pretty much how it feels, like on the corners and stuff like that. But as far as pull goes, like in the last video, it launches and pulls pretty well, because the 0 to 60, like on a stock turbo, is actually about like 6.1, 6.2. With this car, I'm gonna guess it's about like 5.8, 5.9, which is still pretty good. I mean, as far as like improvements in the 0 to 60. And just, of course, the horsepower plus 60 and torque. So that's pretty well. But on corners is also pretty good because of the lowering springs. Now, given the lowering springs are a little bit older, but still, like, coilovers would be nice on corners. But as far as like lowering springs go, and then like the difference between that and the stock is actually pretty good. But just to have you guys hear the spool goes. With the stock blow-off valve, that sounds pretty good. Now, of course, with an improvement on the blow-off valve, it would increase power as well as the sound. But even as far as sound goes, like in the cabin, it sounds pretty good in my opinion. It's pretty loud, it's pretty crisp, but you know, a little improvement wouldn't help. But as far as power goes, it's perfect in my opinion. Yeah, pretty much as far as handling goes, it's pretty good. This car, you know, the power to weight, this thing weighs 2,900 pounds. Like, that's pretty light, you know, and like I said, the power to weight on this thing is pretty good. You definitely feel the pulls, both on local and freeway. Not even like with a stock turbo, because this thing's an upgraded CT26. But like even with a stock turbo, you could feel the pull. I never got the chance to like really feel the difference between the stock and this turbo, but I could imagine like 60 plus horsepower, you could already like imagine the difference. But yeah guys, this car is really fun. It's definitely a car that I actually wouldn't mind to get, just because it would be like a nice project car. Let's just put it that way. It'd be a nice car to work on. It'd be a nice car to basically just to put in the level of like what you would like. So that's pretty much it for the review, guys. I'm gonna do one more pull for you guys just to hear the turbo, just so you guys can actually like, you know, hear it clear and crisp enough, because I'm gonna start at 0. So this is just for you guys right now. Camera. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the review of the car. It is a really fun car to get. They're racking over like $3,000-$4,000 right now, or possibly a little bit more. I'm not sure, depending on the condition. But yeah, it is a car I would get just to, you know, have fun and mess around with, and to basically just mod the crap out of it. And it's easy because it's an older car. So yeah guys, I'll catch you guys later. I'll keep you guys updated as always. See ya.